All right, we're gonna call the EMA committee meeting to order. We got a set of minutes in front of us.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. At this time, we're gonna open up the public comment. Is anybody, Mr. Copeland?
Good evening, committee members, chairman. I want to pass out this real quick. I've had a conversation with a few people. I've had a conversation with the mayor's office. Okay, perfect.
Thanks, sir.
If y'all don't know me, my name's Colton Young. I'm the president. I'm gonna step over here, sorry. President of Wilson County Firefighters Association, Local 4238. We cover WEMA personnel. I have 121 members that I speak on behalf of. At our last month's meeting, it was asked to me to come before a commission because we know that a lot of things are happening very quickly, and we don't envy y'all. First and foremost, my members want to say thank y'all to the EMA committee especially, and the other commissioners that are here for giving us what y'all have given us so far: the ladder truck, ambulances, personnel, stuff like that. But I do want to bring your attention, and there was something that was said at the last steering committee, I believe, about taxes and stuff like that. And I want to say that nobody wants taxes. Nobody wants that. I understand y'all's position. I understand that. But this was brought up by my members who do reside in Wilson County about this. And if there is even a chance of a tax increase or anything, we want y'all to know numbers and facts. That's it. Our department, even though we've opened stations and added apparatuses and stuff like that, are still responding with two-man engine companies, two-man stations, and that's not okay. My zone, about 2 weeks ago, responded to a structure fire with a victim in it, and I had 2 people that could go inside that fire to check for victims, any other victims, for almost 8 minutes. I called mutual aid from Mount Juliet. I had extra personnel coming from the county, but they're 8 minutes away. That does us no good if there's victims inside. Because what I look at is our constituents that live in the county, and I look at my men and women that are on that truck that are having to look at the families and the other neighbors and even the victims inside saying, I'm sorry, I can't come to you, I don't have enough staffing. And that's not okay to me. And it shouldn't be okay to y'all, because it's your family, it's your mothers, it's your grandmothers, it's your grandkids that we're coming to. That's why y'all have us, that's why y'all have invested in us, and we want to give y'all and your constituents the best possible service. So I have ran numbers. People say, ask for the moon or you don't get anything, right? So before this, and I'll be happy to make copies for anybody else who would like it, I have what NFPA, National Fire Protection Agency, says is minimum standard for fire departments. It says that a single family structure should have 16 firefighters on scene, minimum. We respond with 11 starting out. That's taken away from instant command and everything else. If there's a victim, we drop even lower. If we have a victim in one of our rural areas like Noreen, we're down to 4 to 2 people to be able to fight that fire, and that's automatic loss. Automatic. Even in Station 4 zone in Lawrence area, we were down to 2 people for a while. That's not okay. But what I've come up with is what the standard says. If you see on the first line up top, it says how many we actually have right now on staff, and that's 44 people per shift. That's, if you look at our policy, that's what we're supposed to have every day. Now with sick leave and everything else, military, we don't have that all the time. We have parameters that we go into because of that. Right now, and Director Cooper can correct me if I'm wrong, but we have about 3 spots open. One's retiring, 2 people left to go back to out of state or getting ready to go back out of state to his family, and another one went to another agency, back to his previous agency for his family purposes only. We're not losing people. We're hiring people. We're pretty much full staff. We got applications open, and people are looking at us, and that's thanks to y'all because of the pay raises and stuff like that. I know the sheriff and them are having trouble finding people too. It's the nature of the business right now. I'm sure Mr. Luttrell's having problems finding teachers. And as a county, we need people, we need the pay raises. But also, with that, we need staffing for our public safety. And so if you drop down to that next box, it says how many we need to add to make it to where it would be. So we need to add 33 people per shift. It's a lot. That's unrealistic. I understand that right now. In one swoop, that's based off of the pay study, work highest possible 10% with the insurance bus or insurance raise to 13,000. All these numbers I've gotten from the finance department and stuff like that of potentials. Even with fire gear, we're looking at close to 14.5 million. That's what it will cost. Now, I said that's my sunshine and rainbows. That's way too high. I understand this. Let's drop down if we use some positions like AOIC, acting officers in charge, to fill in some of those leadership spots. It drops down to 12.7 million. That's still pretty high too. So what's the realistic thing that we could do for right now to help get some of the coverage done? For just a little over 2.5 million, you could add one person to every station that's 4-man right now and add that third body to that engine. There's a couple of reasons why this would be beneficial to the county. One, we can make an engineer position who's certified to pump a truck, and you're gonna cut down on people breaking apparatuses, not knowing how to drive big equipment. They're trained on that. Those positions, we have people that have gone through the class. We could fill those positions, no problem. You could hire more firefighters to learn their craft. I got asked the other day, well, we sent them to the fire academy. Why did they not learn that there? Well, like you go to the police academy, and tell me if I'm wrong, but they don't learn to be a detective in the police academy. It's progression. Same way with firefighters. You're not learning to be an officer in rookie school. You're learning how to be a firefighter, how to go in and save lives and put out fire. So there's a bunch of benefits to why this, if y'all so choose to do some funding this year, why this would be beneficial. It would also just make it incredibly beneficial for our staff that are fighting these fires, just to add one person. We would love 4-man engine companies, but we also understand that you have to be responsible for the constituents' money that y'all are all tending to right now. However, I also have to look out for my men and women, and we're putting them, each time they respond to a call, at risk by not having the adequate staffing that is needed for these stations and for these apparatuses. Y'all have been so grateful and giving us the appropriate equipment, the appropriate needs and means to do things. We just have to have the butts in the seats to be able to do what y'all want us to do and y'all's expectation of our department. So the first page is the top is what the 10% possibility. In that packet also is some statistics of other departments. I sent it out to all over the IFF District 14, which covers 3 different states. I've asked for their station, how many stations they have, what's their minimum staffing, what's their normal staffing. That's all in there. The other chart is what we're at right now. And for whatever reason, if something doesn't happen, if we don't do a pay raise or whatever, that's what it would cost based off of the salaries on this line right now. So I appreciate the time. If I can answer any questions, I'd be happy to do so, but I really appreciate this. Yes, ma'am.
All right, I've got several questions. Okay, so what we're talking about here is this, what you're proposing is this 8 per shift, so it's not 2.5 million, it's 2.9, right?
Yes.
Is that what we're talking about?
that
Okay, I wanna make sure I'm following the
that
numbers
two-
correctly.
Yes, thank you. That 2.9 is with the already factored in insurance update, insurance going to $13,000 an employee.
It is?
That's not necessarily. I'm shooting for high numbers. I don't know what it is. We don't know.
You
Okay.
just fired on my committee?
No. But
Okay, so the tax rate here is, actually your per penny value is wrong. 677 was last year, so it's actually 709 right now.
okay.
So if you do the math again for the 2.9 million, it's actually 4.1 cents is what that is. Okay, so over here in the corner, you've got bring in revenue, and it has the penny value at 677, and you've got another penny below it for.
That is what Davidson County, or
What is
Sumner
that?
County brings in
Okay,
right now.
so Sumner, that's what I wanted to know, because it wasn't labeled. Okay. Right, because they've got more property than we do,
Mhm.
so.
That was
they're-
just trying to give you as much information as I possibly could for
Gotcha,
your statistics. And also,
I appreciate it.
I have on there what our current ISO rating is as of what I could find in my research from 2014 as a 4/4X. And my understanding is that has not changed. 4X.
Correct.
And then, like I said, the 677,000 is what I could find on public records. I'm not privileged to what the finance department has. So,
It should be out there, actually. I think if you did the calculation off the budget book, it's out there.
I don't think we put the penny value in the budget, but we probably should.
Yeah.
We don't have a penny value in the budget.
I didn't know.
Everybody who pulls penny values generally pulls them from
It's a
CFAS.
test. Okay, gotcha. Okay. All right, so that updates your numbers then, so it makes it, 4.1 as opposed to 5 cents here, so.
and
All right.
I put
But all
the,
this has, sorry, I'm just, again, trying to make sure I'm understanding your numbers correctly. So if I go back up, all of these would be with the 10% raise, total
that,
cost, and then, so that the
Right.
9.1 million that were being talked about for the pay plan, plus, how much, okay, plus you put in, going from, what, 11,629 to 13,000 for insurance? Because it's
that,
11,629 right now,
that is,
per head count.
that is just shooting high numbers from what
That's fine.
I was given to
It's-
give you worst case scenario.
Right, well, that's what I'm asking, is to, how much you added, because again, I'm just trying to understand and interpret your math.
Yep.
That's all, so, okay, so,
And those,
okay,
and
so
those-
9.1, right, for the pay plan, and then how much total did you put in for the insurance?
it'd be 13,000 times however many personnel, so 33 and.
Gotcha, it's okay, I'll do math, okay, so I've gotta subtract the 11,629 out, so. Because that would be your difference there, I'll do it in a minute, okay, gotcha, okay, and then this, what you're really asking for NFPA staffing is 33 per shift, so we're talking about 99 total staff, oh, sorry.
No, this is from, let me, I should have prefaced this. This is from the association, this is not from WEMA. WEMA agrees that we need staffing. This is our men and women that are on the floor that are asking for NFPA staffing.
Gotcha, I
So-
understand. Okay, so, but you're talking about for NFPA staffing, we're talking about 99 additional bodies.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, again, I'm just trying to understand your math, so.
And like I said, down at the bottom, and going down to the one person per four-man station, that's 8 times 30. So that would put one man at every station that has a four-man crew, at least.
Okay, so
So-
this 2.9 is actually not really 8, it's actually 24 head count, right?
Yes,
Is that what
yes.
we're talking about? Okay, sorry, you didn't put that out here compared to what you did before, so, okay. Do you know if there is enough beds at all the various stations to add an additional person?
At all but Station 7, there is. Now, Station 6 would be very tight.
Right?
Station 5, we can make it work. Station 4, we can make it work. Station 5, we can make it work. Station 8, they can make it work. Station
Right.
1, 9, 10, 11, 12, or,
Okay, but
Yeah.
you've got two, you think that 2 stations that would be difficult? Do you have
mm,
a proposal as to what we do for the capital improvement to be able to expand the station, to be able to put the extra head count in?
I would defer that to the director. Because it's his priority that we believe that Station 6 needs to be redone before anything else is done. Because that station that was built temporary is still standing and operating as a primary station, and you can feel the wind blow through it when the wind blows hard. So, it needs renovation immediately.
Okay, well, I understand, this was your plan, so I was curious what your, if you thought through that far.
Question to follow up with the question.
Yeah.
Mrs. Briggs, if you don't mind.
Absolutely, jump in here, guys.
You're saying that you could add one more body to these stations. What about six? Six more bodies?
So when I came here in 2015, we ran 4-man out of that station. That is very tight quarters. We haven't done that since we opened up Station 11 when we were asked to move 2 personnel from 6 to staff Station 11. So it has been 2-man since that station opened up. However, we have done it in the past. It is not ideal, but I would rather be cramped and have enough staffing there until we can come up with a plan to build a new Station 6 than leave an apparatus. Because here's another thing, bringing up Station 6 in Chad's area, we've had some terrible wrecks on 109. That's why we lowered the speed, right? Well, what happens when that news crew is filming a wreck and they look over and see a fire engine sitting in that bay, or that ambulance sitting in the bay because there's not staffing to cover it? The 2 people that are at that station are on the other piece of apparatus providing care to someone in the county. It's being used, but that thousands of dollar apparatus is just sitting there. When we could put 2 more bodies on there and possibly, worst case scenario, if it's a bad wreck, they can at least start cutting someone out and start doing CPR to possibly save a life.
That's fair. Question about that bench brought up apparatus and this, I may have heard you wrong when you were saying that by adding 1 or 2 people per station, then that would ensure that there was somebody trained to drive the apparatus and fewer wrecks. So do we have people driving the apparatus now that are not trained?
We have people that have come right out of fire school who drive our apparatus because that's how we have to operate.
Do
We
they
don't,
get any training on how to
they
drive?
do, we do an EVOC training during orientation, and that's it. I mean, some of these guys, 19, 20, 21-year-olds who've never driven a big apparatus in their life, come and drive a multi-million-dollar piece of apparatus, and they're not used to it. And it's no offense to them, that's their job requirement. They're supposed to be comfortable to drive these apparatuses, and I wouldn't want someone like that to drive a school bus full of kids. So why are we asking them to drive a fire truck to a call to go save someone's family?
Is there any way we can get them some training before we just put them behind the wheel and say, go for it?
Unfortunately, not right now. The way our staffing is and stuff, we don't have the ability to do that. They have to be able, because we're a tri-agency department where we do EMA, fire, and EMS, they have to be cross-trained. They have to be cross-trained, and they're expected to be able to perform that task. Whether we think they're ready for it or not, we do our best. Excuse me. We do our best to train them in-house as far as we possibly can. But ultimately, we send them to the fire academy and they go through pump school. They learn how to pump that engine. It just takes time driving and stuff for those positions.
So they don't go through, they don't go through any training or check off for any type of emergency operation in fire school when they get the.
No, sir, not at the academy. Their primary function on that is to learn how to be a nozzleman and a backup nozzleman. And I say that female or male.
We got a, Jerry,
Joe, I got a question for you. What would it cost to get to the next level in a PA? And how much revenue would it save the taxpayers of this county? Well, we don't know in rooms, if you go to, on the 403, for example, people's insurance
Your eyes
doesn't cost you, correct, that's right, your insurance, your home insurance, if they're rated by NFPA goes down, well, State Farm is a little different than it was, I don't feel right now, but what I'm saying is if the taxpayers knew they gonna save $200 on the insurance, they probably wouldn't mind paying extra $50 in taxes. So, what's the stats on that? Where's the,
Currently, we're at a 4X.
okay,
You will never see us lower than that
that's it,
as a county department.
why?
Because we don't have the response times or personnel like a city does. A county just can't get to that elevation.
Okay,
And that's not just our county, that's
okay, every county.
every county.
Sure.
We're, let me tell you, when we got to a 4,
I remember.
I was surprised. Because that's even excellent for a county to be a 4.
All those stakes you gave the inspector.
And we're fixing to go through the process. I think they just got through hollering at us, and we're gonna go through the process again here very shortly. So maintaining that 4 is gonna be, it's gonna be difficult. But, cause you never see that. Like I said, I was surprised when we got it, but, keeping it, you know, I'm not gonna promise we will keep it, cause I mean, that's one of the hardest thing in the world to do. Because a 4 is unrealistic anyway.
Yeah. Well,
At that period of time, I think
Tanker operation.
everything lined up right in the sky, and
Mhm.
everybody was at work, and everything was there, so.
Since we're there at 4X, what would cause us to go backwards? Since we've met that, what would cause us to actually change?
Engine people.
It's, a lot goes into that, and I can tell you, a lot of it is the guy doing the evaluation.
Okay.
And that's one reason I feel we went to a 4. You can get another evaluator in that, you know, is totally,
I'm picking up what you put down.
you know. So, to my knowledge, that's why we got a 4. Because that was in 2014, we done another one in 2019. Technically, we did go back to a 5. But I wrote a letter, against that, and they reevaluated based off the information and the reasons I put in the letter. And at that particular time, they kept us at a 4. So they're not gonna accept another letter, I'll guarantee it, coming up this time.
Sure.
So keeping that 4 is almost gonna be impossible. Just to let you know.
Okay.
But we're gonna try our dangest to keep it. But like I said, it's gonna be up to the evaluator more than anybody.
Colton did a good job presenting his
Yeah.
case, but what would you know, darn well we couldn't do 30-something people.
Well,
What was your recommendation?
in reference to what he presented, I have not completely went through this,
Okay.
okay?
Do you come back with it?
Now, do we need more people? Yes. So, you know, my outlook is a little more realistic than what I've seen so far in this. Because in the history of being here, nobody's hired 99 people at one time. And I know that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, we need people. But I do disagree with some of the comments that were made when it comes to training and just putting people on the engine for no reason, just because we need a driver. That does not happen. I want everybody to know that. Our people are qualified once they get on a piece of apparatus. And it don't matter if it's an engine or an ambulance. And they have the training to do so. And we can back that up. Again, a lot of these stations will not currently occupy the needed personnel. So they will either, especially the older stations, there's no way they can accommodate more people until we do something there. So I do agree, you know, we do need a lot of stuff, and probably some proposals is already in the works of this upcoming budget that I'm already working on.
Right.
That we do need people.
I've got a couple of questions for Colton as I've sat here and done some math. So, okay, so I know you presented Sumner's penny value over here, but Sumner doesn't have paid fire, right?
No, they do not.
Okay, so do you know how many counties in the state of Tennessee that actually have a paid fire department for the county?
Very few.
Okay,
And it's also against the law to have county tax money to pay for fire services. So,
Yeah, specifically property tax.
Property tax.
Directly to fire service.
right, yes, so that's why we use situs tax to be able to make sure that we take care of that. We also do calculations every year to make sure that, based on the number of fires that are covered, that the majority of what WEMA does is actually rescue and ambulance service and so on. So, and I wanna say that fire is about 3%, is that
Between
about
3
right?
and 5, depending on the year.
Right, yeah, which is why we're able to actually fund the way we fund and we don't have to do fire district taxes. So, but, okay, I just wanted to make sure that, you know, cause I knew Sumner had volunteer for the county. I think Rutherford's trying to move to paid fire,
Rutherford does not pay for that.
do they now?
I don't know if it's fully, I think they've got some paid people and some volunteer. I think at this point, I'm not 100% sure. I will refer to
Their
somebody.
staffing is on that packet.
Is it? Okay, I'm just trying to get apples to apples and kind of, you know, see where we are here, so. I also ran through the math that you, with the 13,000 for insurance. So the difference for what we're putting in for every individual right now is $1,371 per month. Or I'm sorry, oh, wait. Sorry, that would not be per month. I screwed up my own math as we're trying to do this. I apologize. I need to actually divide this out again, but, I got 3 cents, but obviously it's high because I multiplied by 12. So I'm trying to do a lot of things at one time. So, okay. Well, I would like to hear from the fire chief about training. I know we heard from Director Cooper about his training, but I mean, you were talking specifically about training to drive trucks. Do you feel comfortable that your staff are trained to drive the trucks?
I would say 90% of them are actually trained to drive trucks. What Colton is referring to, we're kind of getting a little bit of smoke in the mirrors here. And I don't like saying our guys are trained, they're highly trained. Probably the highest trained in the state of Tennessee, you know, I'll put them in anybody.
Right.
So I don't like that comment he made.
I
Especially,
agree
wait,
with that.
I'm not done talking.
That's
Either one,
fine.
give me a minute. Secondly, we spend a lot of money at that fire academy every year to make sure you guys are trained.
Mhm.
Wilson County probably has the most progressive fire service and EMS service in the state of Tennessee. And I'll go to bat with anybody in North Tennessee wants to go do something. Y'all have one of the largest departments. We have worked leaps and bounds to get us there. ISO class rating 4 is unheard of
Right.
for county service.
Absolutely.
You guys have been over backwards, you've done everything. What Colton's trying to do, he's correct. We're in a bad spot. We're still running 2 men on the engine. I know what he's trying to do, he's trying to get the numbers on help on the engines. And NFPA does say 2 in, 2 out. I've fought many fires by myself, and hopefully I had a half a partner with, from Lakeview all the way to Watertown. I've been doing this 26 years. He's throwing you a pitch. I agree with this pitch. Problem is that pitch is gonna cost a lot of money. But then on another pitch, and I just had this conversation with him, 3 hours ago?
Mhm.
You gotta make a choice. You want personnel or do you want money? We can't do it all. You got nice pay raises. We're very, I would say Wilson County is making more money than employees now. And you kind of around Middle Tennessee, although you can compare us to Nashville, because they can compare us there.
Right.
They're making dang good money. Now, do we need engineer positions? Yes, we do. Problem is, if you're gonna go in there and put out a house fire and you're doing a rescue like he had, I don't know if he's mentioned this yet, a couple of weeks ago, you need that guy outside in case that house collapses. Somebody needs to call him. I have fought a fire with just 2 of us on the truck in Watertown. That sucked. I hope nobody ever has to do that.
Right.
Or pull a damn whole lady out of a burning house. Been there, done that. You can't compare Wilson County to Nashville. You can compare it to Williamson. Williamson County, a lot of people think, oh, they have all the money. Yes, they do. Brentwood's paid, Franklin's paid, the rest of the county's volunteer.
And you know, their ambulance service, they
Montgomery
actually
County is the only county that you could pretty much compare us to.
Right.
So we are blessed. You have good people running these trucks, very well-maintained people on these trucks. Our guys are more highly trained. I'll compare them against anybody in the state because they have a medical license and they have a fire instructor license or a fire license. So to say we're not trained to run these trucks, I'm gonna disagree with you on that. They're highly trained. Now, how they choose to staff these trucks, that's on them. That's an operational problem. You have driver operators. Do we need that third guy so you can have a fireman in the back seat, an officer in the front, and a driver operator? Of course we do. I wish we had it 10 years ago. We are behind times on that, and that's what he's trying to tell you. And that could get us into a pickle later on, and Joe will tell you this, and so the current. Yeah, we've been gambling. We've been gambling a long time. Don't ain't lying to you on that. We should have 3 people on these trucks, if not 4. We should have had it 10 years ago. But like I said, what are you weighing? I know the sheriff would love to have more sheriff's department officers on the street. We all would like to have more people. You want raises, you want to take care of your employees and retain them, or do you want to hire? That's where we're at. Y'all make that decision.
Thanks.
Got another question.
Mr. Chairman, I told, in the essence of time, I want to make a recommendation that this committee accept this report and study the report and let Director Cooper and Chief Hobbs come back with your recommendation for the.
Let me just stop you right here. We
Okay.
spent 25 minutes on something that's not on the agenda.
It's not a
We
public
can't do
comment,
that. We
right?
can't take any action here.
Yeah.
Right.
And, this is the type of thing that needs to be put on the agenda so people know. Good questions, good information. But we're discussing something that's not on the agenda, and that's what
Right.
that law says we ought to do. Not my law. I wish it wasn't there.
Thank you, Colton.
Real quick, I want to clarify. I'm not saying that our guys are not qualified or trained because I work with them. I'm on the road. I've seen quite a few of y'all on scenes. I'm not saying that at all. And I apologize if Director Cooper took it that way. What I'm saying is we need those personnels, that way we can better serve our citizens. They only know what they know, and it's not our fault that they might be here for 20 minutes or 25 years. But we owe it to our constituents to always provide the best that we can when we roll out that door. So, thank y'all.
Thank you for your time.
I
Thank you.
understand that there was some briefs and comments.
All right, I guess at this time we'll turn it over to Director Cooper.
I'm saying, if we're going to discuss something for 25 minutes, there needs to be something there.
That's a briefing.
I don't know what you call it. It's a violation of the agenda.
Okay, all right.
I thought that was public comment. We were just asking questions based on public comment. If that's how it's presented.
Don't let public comment, this is just comment, you don't comment, right?
That's right, unless comments made and something. And then if you want
Nobody
to have it as an
responds.
agenda item, put it on there for next time.
Exactly.
Don't kill the messenger, it ain't my law.
If it's a briefing, we ought to have a workshop discussion.
That's possible.
All
I'm
right.
trying to discourage you doing your work, I'm just saying. So we're gonna hear from somebody if he's watching, saying y'all started out tonight on the first meeting talking about something that wasn't on the agenda. And y'all know who I'm talking.
Just listen,
Hmm?
no, just listen, right? Public comment should just be listened to.
Pretty much, unless it's on the agenda.
Should we put a time limit on mine, like we do in
3 minutes.
We have a time.
Well, I mean, yeah.
This is type of, the way y'all system works with committees feeding the commission, it's better to have the comment here than, so that's your,
Right.
I think that's what we will say.
You good, Mike?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Like I say, don't kill the messenger.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Cooper.
All right, thank you. All right, first, the director's report, have a budget amendment. This first one is twofold, actually, I guess. Fire incentive pay and a new state EMS stipend pay. To break it down, for you, how I come up with the 112, is the state fire incentive this year was 94,400, and the state EMS stipend fund 18,400, which totals to 112,800. We're requesting to transfer those funds for salary supplements over into the credit line.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Any nays? Motion carries.
Second budget amendment is a UIC grant, which totals $158,741.40. We're asking to transfer these, federal fiscal year 2024 UIC grant.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Be used for it, Joey.
I think the UIC one, I think is strictly law enforcement related. Yeah.
So, you're administering it, though, right? Homeland Security, you've been.
Yes. Yes.
All right. All in favor?
Uh,
Any nays? Motion carries.
Third budget amendment is for a gov deal sale, $8,000, moving those funds over into line 338, which is our vehicle repair fund for the sale of a tanker.
Motion approved.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any nays? Motion carries.
That's all I have on that, Tiffus.
That's it. All righty. We got any old or new business? One more motion.
Motion to adjourn.